such a sad clown. That's a sad clown. How about you shut the hell up? What's up, guys? Welcome in. That's what you call domestic abuse. I'm so sorry. Welcome in, guys. What's up? Today's the day. It's happening. It's happening. Ah! Get in here. Get in here. Hope you got pens. I'm ready to take some notes. I'm ready to do some things. Let's freaking go. Now the goats did. I'm sorry, the squirrels. They like to be called the squirrels. Let me know that they did have a meeting this morning, and as soon as I see them in the chat, I am going to drop them in, and we are going to get going. Why is it live? Let me see. Broadcasting. All right, it says it's broadcasting on the tubes. Let me see if we are live on the YouTubes. Here we go. Sorry, guys, it's a little different than setting up on a goal. There we go. All right, we're live. Let me hit these people. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Where are you reporting from? Can't stay long. You're at work. That's horrible. Got Indiana. We got North Carolina, Wisconsin, Iowa. Look at all these different accents in my mind. Phoenix, Indiana, Oregon. What up, rural Indiana? Let's go. Wisconsin, Texas. Rnzy with a raid. That's who I was waiting for. Look at that. They bring their own people. They bring their own people. Boom. Let's go.
What's up, brother? How we doing?
Doing well, man. Last time we sat down, we both had hair and we were crazy with it. And now, I mean, you're looking pretty stylish and I look like Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yo,
So
put me on the head tattoo game. I need one. I need one.
look, I just booked my side head appointment in 2 weeks. So
It's a beautiful sight, my friend.
thank you, thank you. Guys, I mean, I wrote a paragraph introduction. Look at this. Look at this.
Dude,
Do
skip
I
all
need to
that. Skip
do I
all
need
that
to do it? But
craziness.
here we go, guys. Let's go. We're ready. Welcome in, Flip the World Army. Today will change your life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So make sure you've changed your underwear or at least put some on for God's sakes. I know there's a
Uh-oh.
couple people in my chat that probably did not. Guys, do I have something special? Today's guest is a world-renowned professional smiler. Okay?
Oh.
He was the silent sixth member of the legendary boy band NSYNC. Him and his wife Rnzy have gone from hand delivering used shoes on Facebook Marketplace to grossing $1.9 million in sales on Whatnot in 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, I've had the privilege to sit next to them at FlipCon, smell the same air that they breathe, and I could not be more excited. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Rnzy.
Brother, I don't even know what to do now. That was like the best intro I've ever heard.
I
And
know.
you nailed it.
Thank you. Thank you.
First of all, how's the fam?
Oh, doing awesome. Everyone
Good.
is good. Everyone's good.
Good.
And
I'm
yours?
glad. Everyone's healthy and happy. We reacclimated to the cold weather. We were doing a little warm weather traveling. We're back up in Maine. There's tons of snow, and just life is good, my friend.
Awesome. Awesome. So look, I have questions that I've put down. I have questions that the Instagram has given me, and then really I just kind of always start this thing again. The reason I do this for anybody that just popped in, the reason I like having my podcast on Whatnot is because I'm talking to people that are on Whatnot that are actively interested in Whatnot. Whether you're a buyer or a seller, you can get great information, and it's the people that want to be here or the people that want to listen to this. I also multicast it onto Whatnot, so people that aren't familiar can eventually grow over there, because it's a very green niche. Whatnot's still very green on YouTube. A lot of old school resellers are very anti, so we try to bring them over slowly. So if you are watching on YouTube, thank you. I see Anthony, I see Jasper Dustman, Sandra, welcome in, guys. So backstory for anybody that hasn't seen any of your quick stories, I can give it to them in 5 seconds, or you can go give it to them in 10. It'd probably be better coming from you. But guys, the floor is yours.
Appreciate you, brother. So the 10-second stories, we started reselling in 2017. As you said, it was shoes. We would clean them up, hand deliver them, meeting people on Facebook Marketplace. Then I realized, holy smokes, you can ship stuff to people, so I don't have to meet them at the grocery store. We tested out eBay for a little bit. It wasn't really for us, just was a preference. We went to Poshmark. For the next 5 years, we built on Poshmark, supporting our family. Rnzy and I went from dating to getting married to having 2 kids, to from the apartment to another apartment to our first house to now our forever home that we're in right now. And then was it February? So May of this year will be 3 years on Whatnot. We were on Poshmark full time. We saw a bunch of people talking about what live selling on Whatnot, and we said, hey, let's just check this out. We watched a bunch of live streams, we watched a bunch of YouTube videos about it, and we decided to test it out. We were hooked as soon as we started doing it, and we transitioned over the course of like maybe 2 or 3 months out of our Poshmark business into 100% on Whatnot. And now, like I said, coming up on 3 years, 100% of how we support our family and ourselves is by selling on Whatnot. Our model, which I'm sure we'll get into, has changed a little bit. We started with used shoes on Whatnot, then we got to new shoes on Whatnot, then we mixed in some apparel, and now we're full 98% is all apparel, and we're testing again, which we'll probably talk about, is consumable products. Stuff like gourmet popcorn, goat milk soap, made maple syrup, things like that. So game on. 2025 is here, and we're excited.
Awesome. So, a few things from your intro that I just got. So, your 3 years is in May. Ours is in June. So we were 1 month after you. We've also been all in. So that'll be our 3 year anniversary, all in as well. Um, uh, I'm going to remember that question.
Yep.
Raquel, I got your question. I'll remember it. So you're all in 3 years. Now, one of the big things that people tell me, and this is probably only towards me, because I don't see you guys ever having an issue with this, is when you put all your eggs in one basket. Like I had a 2 day suspension because I'm a bad boy. Um, people don't want to, they're like, oh my god, what are you going to do if you've put everything into this and then it goes down. Now obviously there's other reselling, or there's other live selling platforms that I could pivot to at any given moment. But what made you specifically, you and Rnzy specifically, decide, let's not do what we've been doing where we were on Posh but we also did Mercari and we also did Facebook, let's just do all in on one? What made you niche it down to one?
It's such a good question, and it comes down to, there's 2 answers. The first one is we believe in ourselves and our ability to be very good at the basics of reselling, which is sourcing great inventory that people actually want to spend money on. Now, it's on Whatnot. We've done it on Poshmark. So, like, the backup, if Whatnot doesn't work, is we can do it on another marketplace. We had already proven ourselves. And the second one is more analytical. We, after a couple months on Whatnot, we're making more in 1 hour on Whatnot than we were in 24 hours on Poshmark. So, like, again, and I'm sure people talk about this a lot. We do get this a lot as well, and I'm sure you do. It's like, oh, but you got to like go live to do the stuff. And we were conscious of that. Like, we can't be streaming 24 hours a day. So we started tracking our gross sales per hour, our net profit per hour. And now when we were transitioning out of Poshmark, we were making more in 1 hour than having all these listings up on Poshmark. It just made sense to just do the one.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I tell people as well. And also, like, we've had chats a long time. I'm a big analytics nerd anyway. Kind of, you guys are all about systems. I like analytics. I watch a lot of, like, Diary of a CEO is one of my favorite podcasts.
Dude, so good. It's
Yeah.
so good.
The one with Mr. Beast that just dropped this week is
Dude,
awesome.
changed the Mr. Beast one changed my life.
I was talking to Stacy about it this morning. I go, the fact that this kid is 26 years old and he talks like this is insanity to me. But anyway,
Yeah.
guys, I'm not going to give them a plug. They got 9 million subs. They got their, but it's great. It's a great entrepreneurial podcast to watch. But one thing that I've learned from all of those episodes is a lot of those people are all in on what they do too. They don't spread themselves across multiple planes because they give 100% of focus to what it is that they're doing, and that's what I tell people. It's called Diary of a CEO. It's really good. Um, I We went all in on whatnot because I realized the same thing. I was like, hey, we're making instant money. I'm very good at well, not I don't want to say I'm very good, but I enjoy being on camera and entertaining people.
Yep.
I like that. I've always been like a performer, even with music or anything like that. So this works for what I enjoy doing, and I don't have to do photos, listing, and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's what I tell people too when they're like, "Well, you only do one thing. What if that one thing falls off?" Well, then I'll pivot to the next one thing, and I'll go 100% on that. So
Yeah.
again, similar. Uh, another reason I wanted to talk to you is we started about the same time, and we are
Yep.
on completely different arcs when it comes to what we do on this platform, and both are successful.
Yes. I'm
Uh,
so glad you said that.
so I'm in, Stacy and me are in the trenches. If you guys are coming over from the Camp Rnzy, we're in the trenches, going to the Goodwill bins, selling live, selling clothing, shoes. I don't like plush, but if we have some, we'll sell them purses and things like that. We are very into. I don't like saying sustainable fashion because then it makes people think that I'm doing it for some like ecological good thing, and I'm not that guy. No, I like the abundance that I can get of used items. Um, so that's why we're trying to grow wholesale in the pre-owned category and things like that. You guys completely are in a new attacks category
Yep.
of things again, which shows that you can be here succeeding and you could be here succeeding. So there's no reason that I tell anybody that they can do it to do it on whatnot. So we already got the what made you go in. What drew you into doing the new attacks apparel versus the shoes? Was it because the availability of abundance once you realized that this was kind of a volume game?
Yeah, speed. The easy answer is speed. And we had built out a cleaning team. We live up here in Maine, and so when we were doing used shoes, the bottleneck for us was cleaning. And so we built out a team so that we could clean a lot of shoes in a short amount of time. But the speed of sales on whatnot, the bottleneck, even then, even with a team cleaning all the shoes, was it was taking too long to get to the point of can we present these on whatnot in a clean fashion. And so we very slowly but surely tested the new with tag stuff because it's a much higher buy cost, so you've got like a bigger financial risk. But by eliminating that bottleneck of needing to clean the inventory, the bottom of the shoes and all that, the business grew. Now there's a bunch of other levers that we had to pull, maybe smaller profit per item, and then once you start selling a ton of stuff per stream, you got to really figure out your shipping systems. Shipping 1,000 items in a short amount of time is no joke. So like there's all these different levers, but the long answer is we switched to new tags because of speed. And then there's the United States is, there's just too much stuff everywhere now. A little bit, me and you are both analytical. A little bit more analytical answer is the top brands in the world cannot slow down making stuff, so they need a release valve when they have excess inventory. So you can get really amazing authentic inventory that's brand new with tag everywhere. You just have to figure out how to create a model on whatnot that allows you to profit per piece. And so for all those reasons, we have been seeing a lot of success with the apparel and new with tag stuff.
Yes, which is I'm glad you said that. As far as like name brand companies, they're going to keep turning. The wheels of industry will continue to spin whether you're selling their product or they're getting someone else to sell their product. Which is what I tell people when they talk about like thrift stores and like, oh, because This is going to lead me into this, but I do want to answer this because they mentioned a
Yep.
few times. Is it Rachel or Raquel? I'm horrible with names. If you guys are new here, I kind of make a thing out of it of just making it say whatever I want it. Requiem for Rax. Yeah. See, you spelled it again, and I still don't know because is that a Q? Is it Qua? Is it like
Yo, in
Qua?
these exact scenarios, I just say the first three letters. That's it.
Raquel.
RAQ.
Raquel. Okay, so you said Raquel Welch like I'm old and I should know what that is, but okay, I know exactly. So you're concerned. You're asking us if we are concerned with the class action lawsuits that are going on against whatnot. So here's what I'm going to tell you about class action lawsuits.
Yep.
They happen to every big business that allows people to engage in business. Typically, those big businesses, it happens all the time. It happens with Microsoft. It's happening right now with Apple. Any business you can think of probably has class actions against them. And what's going on is they're either going to settle out of court. They'll just be like, "Hey, whoever started this, everybody gets $100." Or it's just going to wash away because there's no validity to it. So no, I'm not. Also, I'm a big proponent of I don't live any aspect of my life, but especially business, based off fear.
Ever.
Because if you do fear, you'll never do anything ever. Like if you're like, oh, I want to start going to the gym, but everybody there's fit and I'm fat. You're never gonna go to the gym. So I just jump in and I get to work, and when it affects me, I'll deal with it. But until it does, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. I mean, the reality is, I mean, we were talking about Mr. Beast earlier, and someone mentioned it in the comments. Like, he gets sued every single day.
Yeah,
He got sued when he helped people that were blind.
yeah,
Like, and then when you boil it down, just focus on being a good, a good person, and the basics. And Lindsay and I are always down to the basics. Find authentic, great inventory, present it at a good price, and repeat. Treat people well, ship quickly, like all the stuff but for the people that are
yes.
watching. And let's say Whatnot shuts down tomorrow. I just watched this Netflix show where like everything with Robert De Niro. I can't remember what it's called. Zero Day. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So like everything shuts off. Like, guess what? I'm gonna be on the corner slinging, whatever. Like, if you know the basics of reselling, you can find success everywhere. And the last thing I'll say is, when you're worried about stuff you cannot control, there's no way to win. So like, just focus on what you can control.
Guys, I'm writing down your questions as they're coming up. I'm just writing little notes so I can remember them, and then
Bill,
I'm going to ask mine first because they're more important because I wrote them. Um, and then I'll get to you guys. This is just a conversation between us, and you guys just happen to be here.
I
So
love it.
consider this a TED Talk, and I'm so happy you're here. But when we were talking about big business, big brands continuing to put out merch or put out inventory. So the question that people are asking me now, especially this week because it happened on Saturday, is Goodwill went live on Whatnot. They now have a
Yep.
seller account in Ohio. Not that I want to give them any kind of promotion or plug or anything, but Goodwill went live selling products, which is what I've been doing for 3 years. I sell directly out of a Goodwill, and so everybody immediately my DMs are flooded. I told you they're eventually going to take what you do away. So Nike is approved to sell on Whatnot.
Yep.
Again, I know we just talked about dealing with fear and not really messing with it, but has anybody reached out to you and been like, "Hey, now that Nike's going to start selling, what do you guys?" I mean, I know you
Every
probably
day.
already are like 10 steps ahead.
Every day people reach
Yeah,
out and they're like, "You told me what to sell. Now I'm going to sell it for you for less. What are you going to do now?" And I'm like, "Go to your stream and buy it." And then I'll sell it for more. Like, Nike, here, let me use the Nike as an example. Nike tried to launch a website where they sell used items.
yeah,
And they failed. Now, let's say Nike does start streaming, or they already are. I don't even know if they are. You can't be in two streams at once.
amen.
This is the difference with other marketplaces, Poshmark, eBay. Like, someone could go on to Poshmark and say, "I want a green Nike hoodie with the embroidered whatever," and they look at all the listings and they're like, "All right, this one's less. This photo's good. Let me compare." You can't do that unless you're trying to bounce between streams and do all this stuff. So how you present the items and how you treat the people that are there, this, is what keeps people coming back. And then once people have seen that you treat them with respect and you respect their money that they're spending with you, based on reviews, based on people in your stream talking well about you, you can't please everyone. Believe me, we have some people that are frustrated with us as well. But
I got a
once you do,
list.
once you start with one, then the next person that comes in is going to say, "Oh, someone else trusted that person. Let me see what they got," and then this flywheel starts. So again, people have been talking about building a following and all that. I know we're at 100K. I didn't even realize that because someone said it in the chat. But like, we just focus on the people that show up. That's it. Sometimes there's 40. Sometimes we've had 2,000. Sometimes there's 100. Sometimes there's 10. But when people show up like they are right now, I'm not thinking in my head, "Oh man, I wish there was 1,000 people in here."
Yeah.
Instead of, there's 149 people in here. How can we provide value? Which we are. We're answering questions. But when we're selling, how can I show the product? Like, how can I show it so that they want to buy it? And then I'm communicating with them saying, "What are you looking for? What are you looking for?" And then following up on that. That's the whole thing. Nike can do it. Musk can do it. Like, anyone can do it.
Yeah.
But you got to build a following that trusts you one person at a time.
So two takeaways, guys, from everything he just said. One is if you're focusing on the number, you're not focusing on what you're supposed to be focusing on. You're supposed to be focused on how can I be more efficient at my job? My job is to hold up products. How can I make it to where they can see them better? How can I explain what I've got better? That's what you can focus, what you can control. You focus on what you can control. You can't control how many people are in your stream. The other thing I will tell you about worrying about people in your stream is, and I've said this forever since I started making videos and getting people asking me questions about whatnot, I would rather have 10 people in my stream with 1,000 solds than 1,000 people with 10 solds. I
Let me
focus on.
let me add even more data to that. We used to do these crazy giveaways, and at one point we had 2,100 people in our chat. It's extremely difficult to sell when you have that many people because you're trying to respect the time. So like, a lot of people are begging for these things that they wouldn't even be able to handle if it happened, rather than let me get real good when there's less people at respecting and communicating and all that, and then slowly as that grows you can handle the growth. So it's exactly what you said.
Also, in respect to people talking to you about, hey, Zara's going to have, Zara's now approved to sell on here. Nike's approved to sell. Goodwill's now selling on whatnot. Are you guys scared? Blah, blah, blah. I think people don't understand the shift that is happening over the last 6-7 years in the resale, or not even just like used clothing, but just in the industry of business. Is people are tired of purchasing from brands that they don't feel connected to, from celebrities that don't value their money. When you come to a Flip the World show, you know who you're buying from, you know who you're supporting, you know what to expect. And 90% of the time, I'm going to acknowledge you because I can read. I can't, guys, I can't read. So it becomes more than just, I'm buying this brand because, this person wears that brand and I like that brand. You are buying into, you are buying into Flip the World, my brand, my family. You're buying into Rnzy, their brand, their family. They might sell Nike, but you're buying Rnzy.
Right.
And so that's what that's what I focus on. I try to focus on giving the people that are coming to my stream the best entertainment for their value, and the best product that I can offer for their value. Now, because the questions are rolling in way faster than I anticipated, because you are so popular and everybody wants to crack
Yeah.
your skull open and pick your brain. Um, Somebody asked, how do you deal with buyers wanting to cancel or buyer's remorse? My answer might be different than yours, but my answer is very simple. When you sign up to be a buyer on whatnot, there is a little thing that no one reads that says, I am an adult and this is an auction style. All bids are final, no cancellations. Now, I know they're starting to switch over to customer service where they're putting that on the seller to determine. And yes, there are cases where it happens, but for the most part, we're adults and we understand that if you bid, you buy. Just like if you go to an auction house and you raise your hand and you win the bid, you can't be like, oh, my bad, I was stretching. All bids are final. So it's pretty simple. I
Yeah.
just press reject and I keep it moving and I send them their product that they wanted. I fold it nicely and I put a little thank you and I send it to them and I move on with my life.
Yeah, we're the same exact way. I mean, we have made some exceptions with people that have bought a ton from us in the past, but it's the same answer. Like you, if you're a grown adult and you have log in your credit information and you're ready to buy and you're scrolling and like mistakes happen, but if I accidentally buy something, I own it, and you have to just now with respect to logistically how you do it while in stream, I'm always like, oh, just shoot me a DM and we'll figure it out, because I want to focus on, I don't want to spend time in my stream trying to negotiate a cancellation and all that. Just shoot me a DM, we'll talk about it after the stream, and then I have a conversation with them in the DMs after, customer service saying these are the rules. Don't take milk out of my fridge because you made a mistake. I mean, I'm sure you've heard it. We've heard the most insane excuses
Yep.
on Whatnot, and they're the same insane excuses on Poshmark. They were the same excuses when we were delivering locally. Everyone's 6-pound cat accidentally bought something.
That's why I don't
Like,
like cats.
and why do they tell me it's 6 pounds? I don't need to care. I don't know how. Who cares if your cat is 6 pounds? But your cat just not only bought something, but it bought it in your size,
Yeah.
and
It bid
uh,
10 times.
and yeah, and it's on the way to you. So, uh, logistically on the screen, I say, if someone's like, "Hey, can I cancel that? Can I cancel that?" Just shoot me a DM. We'll talk about it after.
Yep.
I'll say something like, "I'll take care of you," and then we reject. And I think a lot of people do know this, but when someone sends an official cancellation request and you reject it, they can no longer rate you.
Yep. They
So
can't
like,
rate you, and it used to be that they were automatically blocked.
yeah,
I think they might have taken that part off, but they can't rate you anymore. So it's not like they can get the item and be like, "I asked for cancellation," and he still sent it and said no,
yeah,
1 star. They automatically can't rate you, and they're getting their product because they're an adult and they knew what they were doing. So that answers the question about the cancellations. Northern, we both don't accept it. I put it in my show notes as well. All bids final. And then again, one thing that he did say that I would recommend, guys, if you do have people that are in the chat like, "Hey, I need to cancel that," don't bring the energy of your show down by focusing on telling them that you're not going to cancel it, because then it's just going to put a bad taste in the show. Just like, "Hey, shoot me a DM after the show, we'll take care of it," and then that way you can handle business off the camera. I don't want to talk about my taxes with 160 people right now. I would rather be like, "Hey guys, I don't give tax advice, and I'm going to talk with my CPA about that." So keep the flow of the chat going. Don't let one person wanting to cancel ruin your stream. "Hey, I'll deal with that after the chat," because business is separate off. That's a separate interaction that handles with that person. I did see. The only reason I said taxes because I saw somebody say something about it. When it comes to taxes, first of all, I'm not a CPA. I have one. What you want to hold back or anything like that, it depends on what you are. Are you filing as a sole proprietor? Are you filing as an LLC? Are you an LLC that's an S corp elective that is paying yourself a salary? Because all of that determines how much needs to be set aside for taxes. So I would definitely, whatever you are, reach out to somebody to get that information. I know you guys use not your dad's CPA.
yep.
um,
Yeah,
and then I
Mark's amazing, and if you want this to be a business and you want it to be legit, then you have to do legit business things, and that is work with a professional that's going to steer you in the right direction. Now
100%.
we've worked with Mark for years, and we've set ourselves up obviously to make sure that we're paying all of our taxes, but also not. Uh, Also, we've created a situation where it's not a surprise at the end of the year. We continually talk to Mark throughout the year. How much should we be putting aside? We over put aside how much we should. So it's just sitting there. And then when he professionally goes through and does all the taxes, he's like, all right, here's how much it is. And we've already, we have more than we need. So we can just send that giant fat check to the government. And make sure we're ducks in a row. If you want to all year play that game where you're like, well, I'm a small seller and this doesn't really, and then all of a sudden start freaking out because you haven't put any taxes away, then you're not really approaching this as a business that is paying you. You're treating it as a hobby that, like, all hobbies cost money.
Correct. Yeah. So again, not a tax specialist. Reach out to somebody in your area. I mean, honestly, you can get most of that information, the basics, for free. As Harry Tornado always talks about, Chat GPT can answer a lot of simple questions.
So
You
good.
can
So
you
good.
can get that. Dude, I use Chat GPT all the time. Which is, I saw somebody asking about, this is a big question people always ask me, especially now that I'm trying to gear into wholesale for our second channel that we're going to start up hopefully in March. And I know you probably get a million DMs like, where do I get inventory? How do I get new tags at a discount?
Yep.
Blah blah blah. Guys, first of all, respect people that found out how to do it. That's the
Yeah.
nicest way I can say it. Like,
I'll give the answer where we get it. We get it from the brands.
yeah, I mean, I could tell you, I've done cold calls. I cold call. I Google wholesalers Houston, and I call every rag house. I call everything that says wholesale. Hi, this is who I am, what I do. I'm looking for this. Do you have a minimum? What's your maximum? How many pounds? Is it sorted? Is it unsorted? Can I get paired versus not paired if I'm doing shoes? Like, I cold call people. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Do your research. Chat GPT will give you a lot of answers that you can just at least start with.
Yeah.
The first wholesaler I ever found, Facebook Marketplace. I just searched wholesale Houston clothing. Boom, gave me a bunch. I called a bunch were dead ends. I messaged people and then finally got back into it. And that's how we started getting shoes when we were getting them locally before COVID. So don't again, if you're trying to actually do this as a business and not a hobby, you will respect and actually put in the work to find that before. And if you can't, then obviously if you've extorted your researches, you can reach out to your people in your circle, that your TED Talk people, and be like, hey man, I'm trying to get this, you guys got any leads? Which I was going to ask again. I try to segue things pretty well, it's kind of my thing.
Dude, you're
um
nailing it. You're nailing it.
when you left the used industry, because you guys used to have routes for your
Yep.
shoes, did you hand that off to somebody? Did you sell your route to somebody? Did you say, hey, we're not going to be doing this anymore, would you be interested? Or did you just say, here, have it? I don't.
Here,
and
have it.
also how and also how sad were the thrift stores?
Here, no, it was a here have it. We didn't sell it. It was fellow Mainers that are resellers that are up here. I mean, for those of you that don't know, we live way up in the woods in Maine, and we did start building our business through like the local Goodwills. I think I don't know now because it's been a while. I think there's 17 in the big state of. I mean, Texas is bigger, but like in the big state of Maine, there's I think 17 Goodwills, and we're talking multiple hours apart from each other and all that. But our main route that really grew our business, we had to drive all the way down to Boston, and we would do like a big teardrop loop. Once we transitioned out, like you're saying, other resellers that were in the area. I mean, we were doing this before we actually transitioned out. We were like, hey, this is where we go. If you ever, want to meet us down there, and we've had several people meet us down in the Boston area and show them our route. The reality is, it's the same thing we both know. There's just way too much stuff,
Yeah.
and there's so few people, not small people. There's so few people that will actually go and do it. That for years, I mean, this. We've been friends for years. We've been talking
Yep.
strategy together for years, and we both have endlessly told people how we do what we do. And there's still, even if 80% of the people did it, there's still enough room, and less than 1% actually go do it. Now, one thing I wanted to say with respect to the new with tag stuff is we don't have a wholesaler. We go to the brands, and I think people don't realize, like, we go to where they're discounting items. But now our business is grown to source all over the country, and teams, and all the way from California to Florida, and up to Maine, and then they ship it up to us. But I think people just assume that you can't go to the brand when they're running a big sale to get rid of last year's stuff and buy the stuff and then sell it for a little. Now with Whatnot, you don't need huge margins because you're selling through stuff so quickly.
Yeah, and that I was about to say, we're on the complete opposite ends when it comes to Whatnot. And because people, and I saw another person ask, like, start prices, how do you know when it's profitable, things like that. So on our end, we start things mostly like $10 or less because it's what we're selling.
Yep.
And you guys are like $39 or up, and you're still crushing it. So
Yep.
again, you can win on both ends of the spectrum. You just have to figure out which what you're doing and how to make it work. What have you noticed is like your biggest hurdle when it comes to sellers with the new attacks model?
So people think you have to do dollar starts, and they don't, like, to get to where we are now. We had to try a lot of stuff that didn't work.
Yeah.
We had to try a bunch of different price points. Now, if you're listening and watching this right now, I can't remember. It was either like a year and a half, 2 years ago. There were streams where I'd be here in my basement and I'd have all these different price points, and I'm trying to like sell these different price points, and I'd 5 hours deep, and I've sold a couple items, and then I'd end the stream discouraged, and I'd be like, all right, well that didn't work. So like I can't be down in my basement for 5 hours and making $10. So let me try something different. And now, and I want to push on this point if you guys are watching, then I would try something different, and maybe I'd see a little bit of success. Maybe the next time I only had 2 price points and I sold 10, 15 items instead of 2. Then I'm like, all right, well, what is causing the success here? Is there friction? Clearly there's friction in like all these different price points. Maybe if I like have less price points and I have a singular start for everything, it'll be easier. And then I would test that. And then maybe the price point I tested at the time was too high, or maybe it was too low and I wasn't making enough money. And so it was all these different adjustments. Then I would also couple that with what I call the faucet. I know you and I have talked about this a lot. Can I consistently get this type of inventory? Or was this some like one-off banger sale where like some Burlington store coming out of COVID was giving 90% off everything? Because you don't want to build your business on unique sourcing opportunities. You want to build your business on something that can be consistent so that you can create consistency in terms of your sales. And so all that to say, trial and error and narrowing down, and it's never perfect, right? We're always trying to make improvements and test different things, and eventually you start to build some momentum and build predictability in your business. But like they'll message us and be like, all right, I bought $2,000 in North Face jackets, and I ran one of them and I lost money, so this doesn't work. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
It's the
What?
people that think that we both started on Whatnot and have been successful since day one of Whatnot, which is I always try to, first of all, guys, there's a minute and 43 left. I'm giving away a brand new leather wallet, women's wallet. It's brand new in box. Um, it's in the giveaway. Get in there right now. People don't understand that you sucked and when you first started selling on eBay, when you started selling on Poshmark, when you started selling on Mercari, because you didn't know the platform. You had to learn. You had to put in the time. You had to put in the learn. Oh, okay, title matters. Oh, pictures matter. Oh, I have to send all these emojis to everybody on Poshmark, or they're not going to like my stuff. You have to put in the work. Like I always tell people, our first 5 months on here was horrible. It was literally just bleeding and figuring it out and unfortunately, which I saw somebody say earlier, work ethic has just disappeared, which is great for people that have it. That's why we're
Right.
successful, is because we have what so many don't seem to have anymore. Is you have to be willing to bleed and put in the work and suffer uh, if you think something is worth it. I mean, I can't even. I've had the hardest time offering to give money to people to run my second stream. I'm like,
Yeah.
look, I'm supplying the inventory. I'll give you shipping supplies. All I need you to do is run the stuff at the price I tell you, and then ship it, and I will pay you. And people are like,
Yeah. I mean,
so
so much on what you just said. It the work ethic thing. I have a friend locally who always says, he's like, man, I'm so glad I was blessed that my mom and dad gave me like a good work ethic.
yeah,
And I'm like, it's a good way to look at it, because they didn't give him the good work ethic. He's just like saying, I have a good work ethic in a
yeah,
nice way, but while also giving the middle finger. So it's to the end of time, right? Like, congrats on that
congrats,
giveaway. To the end of time, people will message us, where do you get your pallets? And I'll say, I don't get the pallet. I don't get any pallets. And they'll say, well, I went in the store. There wasn't anything good. And I'm like, dude, you're approaching the problem wrong. You need to be hunting solutions rather than figuring out all the reasons why it's not going to work.
yeah. Raquel, I'm going to ruin your name again. Raquel, Rack. Just because I want to, maybe this could be like a teachable moment within your question or within your comment that you say, you retail arbitrage some popular brand items. Last show they sold for $5 to $8 each. Needless to say, you lost money. They won't be doing that again. My my 2 cents just on reading that, not knowing what brands, not knowing what anything. It sounds like you started them at a loss, which is always, you've set yourself up to lose if you started them below what you paid for them. So you kind of already put your foot in the dog poop before you even had a chance to not step in it. I would have started it higher, and then if they don't sell, you R8 them. You can keep the receipt, and you got 30 days to take them back. I used to buy shoes from Ross and just keep the receipts. And then if they didn't sell on eBay before that 30 days was up, I took them back and got my money because I wasn't going to take an L. I was either going to make money or I was going to return them.
Yep.
So it sounds like you set yourself up to fail, which if this is your business, is how you feed your family, turn your lights on, stuff like that. Don't ever do that. That's why I always tell people about the dollar starts too. Don't do that.
Yeah. So, and one thing that I'll add too is if an actual successful business like Dunkin' Donuts, they don't, the price of the donut is not at a loss.
Mm.
Like they're not hoping that you come in and buy the donut and then tip, and then that's how they make their profit. Now, I completely empathize with, yeah, but everyone's telling me they won't pay that money. So here's what I want to go into, like this quick little conversation about, you build the following that you build. Like, for example, if I tried to sell what you're selling, Flip the World, I wouldn't get the prices that you
Yep.
get because you've built the following, they've built the trust with you. There's different brands that you sell that I don't sell, that I don't have the knowledge of, that I can't explain. So if I were to hold up the same items that you sell, I wouldn't be able to get the price points that you get. And it's because of knowledge. It's because of literally hundreds and hundreds of streams I haven't even shown these items. So that is developed over time. It's developed gradually. It's easier to start with brands that everyone knows. And like you said,
Yep.
build your A/B testing where you're not losing money. Because worst case scenario is they don't buy it. But worst case scenario, you don't want to be losing money to satisfy someone else. I don't know how many times I've gone into people's streams and they're like, brand new Nike starting at $1 and it sells for $1.
And then they're mad.
And then they're pissed. It's like, you just, it's you. It's not them.
Yeah.
Why would anyone bid themselves up? That makes no sense. Even your most diehard fans, it doesn't make sense for them to take money out of their own pocket.
Well, and
Like,
also it's like you're telling them like, hey, I don't value this item, so why should you?
yeah. Now, listen, the other side of that is if you were sloppy in your sourcing, you don't start a Nike hoodie for $245 and say, it's gold crusted, and start lying to people and like all this stuff, and it comes with a fruitcake in the pocket. It's like, you gotta watch live streams, especially if you're gonna start really spending your money on inventory. See what's working for other people, but then create a business model and test it. Now, I say this all the time in the DMs, people, which I'm glad we're talking about it. Test small,
Yep.
and then if it's working because of the speed of Whatnot, you don't have to wait 90 days, which is great on other marketplaces for something to
Yep.
sell. Test small, and if it's really working, go back and get more of that thing. We do this with every single product. I'm looking around, like, for example, I never would have expected to sell these. These are North Face Sherpa poncho blankets, right? They were a great price. North Face was selling them, and I was like, all right, let me just test this. And we brought one in. It went really well. And I was like, oh, we just sold out. That's crazy. Let me go get a couple more. Got a couple more. Then it was like, people were like DMing me, be like, do you have any more? I'll buy it right now. Do you have any more? And I was like, okay, the market is telling me that this is working.
Yep.
Actual data, people spending their heart, not me guessing. All right, I'm going to get a bunch more. And then eventually it turns into a
Yeah.
predictable model. It's same thing with the hoodies, same thing with, the joggers, the same. Test small because of the speed of Whatnot. And listen, if you test small and it doesn't go well, you didn't lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
So like, boom.
And that's it. And you know who else does that? Every business out there.
Yeah.
Starbucks will launch drinks in a test market. They will even movies. They will premiere movies in select cities. They will do certain menus on fast food in certain cities. It's a test market. Every business does test markets to find out what people want, if they like it, and then they blow it up. And then that's no different than what you're trying to do. So there's two things. You can look at Whatnot as a hobby. This is just something I like to do to sell a few things here and there, which is no different than Facebook Marketplace or any other platform, and that's completely fine. But if you're trying to come on here as a full time, this is how I live, you have to treat it like a business. And until you switch that brain part on, that this is a business, that every time I click go live, I am clocking in. um, you're making it, you're fighting against yourself,
Right.
honestly, because
One thing.
the people will eventually show up, even if it's five people. And again, you kind of said this earlier, it's a lot easier to communicate and engage and sell five people than it is to have 5,000 people, and your chat is moving so fast that you can't communicate with everybody. You can't give everybody that personal touch. Now, would we all want 5,000 people? I honestly don't think I could handle it. And I'm honest with myself about that. I like being able to interact. That's part of what my whole shtick is with my show is you're coming to my comedy crisis, and instead of charging you for a ticket to see me do stand up and two drink minimum, I'm selling you stuff, and that's your price of admission to hear everything that this has to say. um but yeah, you control every aspect of what you're doing when you press go live. It's not the customers that show up. It's like, oh, well, I don't have a following. You got to build one. Like it, we all started at zero when we signed up on Whatnot, and trust me, Whatnot has changed so much in the last 3 years. Hey,
Yeah.
attention, retail! Thank you so much for the show boost. Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you, guys. Yeah, you have to build it. Like, obviously, you can get shout outs from people, and you can engage in the community. That's one thing I tell people when they ask me about how to build a following is I look at what category I sell in, and I go to other people that are doing better than me in the category, and I'm active in their chat. I get in the
Yeah.
chat, I chop it up, I kind of let my name know. I kind of get to where I finally say something to where they respond. And then I'm like, cool, I got their attention. I didn't have to promote myself. I just needed to finally, until they were like, Flip the World, you're hilarious. Boom, they just said my name. Now somebody is going to click on my profile because they just said my name.
One thing that may be helpful too is I don't think people actually. I've seen this on social media a lot. I don't think people actually realize like how many people like 40 people is.
Oh,
Like
huge.
imagine there was actually
Yep.
40 people standing in front of you,
Yeah.
and what you want them to like communicate with you. Do you know how hard it is to like respond to 40 people? And they're like, "Oh, I only had 20." It's like, can you handle 20? Like, now there's 170 people in here. If everyone was asking a question right now, I don't think you and I could keep up.
No, also, I just saw that number and my hands immediately got sweaty. Like, I would not
But
want
like
174 people in front of me. I would freak out and probably urinate on myself.
and here's the best part about that though. It's almost like a secret weapon with less people. Now I get if there's more people in there, there's better chance to sell it. I get that. But becoming good at communicating with the chat and uh, showing them that you respect their time and attention is way easier when there's less people. But then the byproduct of that means more people actually start showing up. And as you can handle more people, people are trying to skip over. Like, I dare anyone to go into a stadium, like a high school stadium, and there's 100
Oh no, he froze. He's in Maine. It's freezing in Maine.
communicate with all of them.
There we go. You froze for a
Wait, am I
second, but
still
you're
here?
back.
All right, I'm back. All I'm trying to say is like it's a secret weapon when you have less people in your chat and utilize that to build deep relationships with people, respect that they're there, and then that's what leads to a bigger following. Because as new people come in, if they see like, wait, there's only like 15 people in here, and they're not even while you're trying to sell, they're not responding to people. It's like I'm out. But if
Yep.
new people come in and you're responding and interacting, they're like, I actually feel good here. They don't even know I'm here. Let me start talking to them.
Yeah, nine times out of 10, the way people enter my stream is, what did I just walk into? Because something's coming out of my mouth where the chat, I'm engaging with the chat, everybody's having a good time, and then somebody's like, what in the hell did I just hear? And I'm like, hey, welcome in. Check the show notes immediately. Check the show notes immediately. But no, so guys, when it comes to, uh, everybody wants a ton of people in their stream because they think more people equals more money, which isn't necessarily true. I can tell you that because we used to consistently only have 20 people, and we were still doing it to where we were able to only do it on this platform because those 20 people were like, hey, I'm getting a lot of stuff. I'm sending, 20 people buying 40 items each is better than 1,000 people buying one item each. It's just,
Let
it's
me
just,
share some more data. Let me share some more data. every single day I see people with 5, 6, 7, 8, 900, 1,000 plus people in their stream, and they'll sell a brand new item for $17. The
Yep.
other day, I'm not going to say who it was because that's not the point. We're both proving this point. Oh, there was 1,100 people in the chat, held up a men's 11 Air Force One, sold it for $17.
Yep.
It's a great size, a great brand, a great shoe, and it sold for $17. So all that logic of like more people will create more is out the window. You
Yep.
got to create trust. And the stat that you show, which is like you'd rather have 10 people buying what they actually want than 100 people who are like, run it lower. Why are you doing that? Like, why aren't you doing that? It's like, no, focus on
Yeah.
quality.
The other thing that I've learned, well, this is just human nature, but and again, coming from somebody who spent most of his early life trying to distance himself from humans, being very antisocial, um, we all want to belong to something.
Right.
Whether we will admit that out loud or not, we all want to be part of something. And if there is 1,100 people in somebody's show and everybody's sharing it and promoting it on other platforms, even if I have no intentions of buying something, I just want to be part of the 1,100 people that are watching whatever's about to happen. Like if
Yep.
somebody's about to hit some milestone, I'll go in their stream just so I can be like, I was there when they did it. Also, shout out to you guys because we hit 20K yesterday. So again, thank you so much.
Yo,
Um,
congrats, dude.
so tomorrow, just a quick plug. Tomorrow I'm running this $398 Dooney and Burke. That's brand new. I bought it from Dooney myself. I'll be running this for $1. And I also got some Vera Bradley, brand new Vera Bradley stuff to give away as well. But yeah, the other thing I was going to say about followers, because I really don't like getting in the conversation about following and building a following because it annoys me. Because it really just comes down to putting in work. But when you're building something, you don't take the heaviest part and just put it on without having a good foundation. You learn how to communicate and sell to 5 people, and then it'll help you to sell to 10 to people, and then it'll help you to send to 20 people, and then you know how to engage, because everybody says they want a lot of people. But if I went live for the very first time on Whatnot today and there was 100 people in my stream, I would have no clue what to do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know how to engage with them because I didn't put in the work to build on how to engage with 5 people, how to learn how the chat's moving while at the same time I have to run the next item and I have to focus and I have to hold up the item. You have to do all of this stuff, and if you can't do it for 5 people, you're not going to be able to do it for 50 people.
No, and there's so much social proof of people over the last 3 years with massive social media followings coming in and they're gone within a month
And failing.
because they're leaning into, well, I have all these followers, so it should just be easy. I should just put up an item, it'll sell for $1,000, no problem. And it's just not the case.
Yep.
Like you have to create trust by providing a quality product at a great price. Game. It doesn't matter if I'm not gonna call out any massive, but like,
I'll
and
do
then
it. No, I'm just
as you
kidding.
know, yeah, the other side of that too is there's people that do focus on the basics and create a really good experience and have a great product that have zero social media and build an amazing business on Whatnot because they're focusing on what actually matters versus how many people are in my stream and how many followers do I have and like all this stuff. Now, celebrate it because
Yes.
you're showing respect, but like it's not the answer to profit.
Yeah. The answer is everything that you do. Um, but again, like another tip that you posted a reel yesterday is when you're acknowledging a milestone like 100K or 20K, that's not like me tapping myself on the shoulder and then everybody in the chat being like, "Oh, congrats." That's me telling you guys like, "Hey, you are the 20,000. You are
Right.
the 100,000. You guys are the reason why my kids have, shoes, and why my lights are on, and why, I just got to go to a restaurant for breakfast." Like, and unlike a big brand or a celebrity, like, it means the world to me
Right.
because I've done minimal shitty jobs my whole life. So to be able to do this and be me and have people support that, you have no idea what that means. It's crazy. And I know that a lot of the craziness that comes out of my mouth, but at the grand scheme of things like this, I don't take any of this for granted because I know, especially with me being who I am, that it could end like that and I have to start over again. But the thing that makes me different than most people is I'm not afraid of starting over.
Right.
Also, hey, TB, I'm going to ruin your name too. T Bell. That's what we're calling you, T Bell.
T-Bell!
Thank you so
Oh, that's
much. Thank you,
amazing.
thank you, thank you. So
Appreciate
yeah,
you.
the best way to succeed on here, guys, is don't worry about this number. Worry about what you're selling and worry about being yourself and telling people your story. Everybody has a story, even if you don't think you do. And there's somebody out there that can relate to you. And more than likely, there's a lot of people out there that can relate to you and they want to support you because they're like, holy crap, I feel that same way. Let me
I got
buy
I got a
something from this person.
I got a secret code too that's gonna make things so much easier to build your following, and that's be yourself. I know that's gonna sound so corny, but like be yourself and you will attract amazing people that want to purchase from you. I'm telling you, to I've seen so many people that the inflection in their voice or like they try to come up with this. I've even seen like little kids, which I don't know how they can sell on here, but like
Alyssa and
little
Taylor,
kids,
thank you.
little thank you, Lisa. Little kids will come on and you can see that they are acting like bigger streamers that are pretending to be. So like, and eventually you just get burned out. So be yourself,
Yep.
and that's the long game with respect to, obviously sourcing great inventory as well. But like, if you have to put on a character or a persona, you're eventually it's going to be hard to do that, and you're not going to want to turn. So like, just be yourself, and you will. I promise you. And someone asked this earlier. And I want like 20 seconds on this. Every single minute of every single day, someone's on buying. I used to think there's no way. I'm a morning person now. Over the years, I've built myself into being a morning person. I used to be a night person. We used to stream only at night. We'd stream, 7 p.m. when the kids, after the kids went to sleep, we'd be streaming all night. And then I was like, I want to get my sleep. Like, but I always used to think like no one's gonna be buying in the morning. No one, no one, no one. And so what did I do? I said, I gotta test it. I gotta test it because I'm a morning guy, and what's important to me is my health, and I need to get some sleep at night. And so we tested it and it went decent. Then we tested again and we were like, holy smokes, there's people, even in we're in Maine on the East Coast at 7:30 a.m. when we go live, there's people from California tapping in.
Yep.
There's people from Washington tapping in. And of course, there's people all over the world. But like, I was like, holy smokes, there is a buyer base here. So whatever time of day gives you the most comfortability to be the best version of yourself is when I know that sounds corny as hell, but like, if you are in a healthy place, it's easier to be good at doing the basics as opposed to like, our boy Drew, Profit Monsters. He's a night owl. That man
Yep.
is like, he's got kids and he just can be up at 2 a.m. cranking out listings, doing a whatnot show. He can do that. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I like need to be, so like if you're deciding on what time of day are you the healthiest, and can you provide the most energy for the people that are showing up, and I promise you, you'll build a following at that time of day.
Exactly. That's what we've tested different times, and I know, I know what times I'm the crankiest, and I don't run shows during those time.
Yeah.
And I know why I get cranky because I fast every day like 20 hours. So I know when I'm coming up to about time to break my fast, I got to get off. I don't care if there's good stuff that I could run and make more money. It's like the product, I am the product is not going to be good, so I got to get off. So you'll never see me do a 24-hour birthday stream unless I'm just not going to fast and I'm just going to just eat the whole show. Then I'll be great. Um,
Paisano, I appreciate you, brother, tapping in, always coming to our streams, whether he's buying or not. I only made it 17 hours on the 24-hour stream
that's
because
still insane.
I had just turned 40 and then I lost my hearing at hour 17 and I was like seeing stuff. I was like, now listen, like I've seen people that have done 3-day streams.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not saying that it's not done. I've seen people that do 24-hour streams like once a week, but like for me, I was like, what is happening? And then the chat was messing with me. They're like, who's behind you? And I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, comfortability comes from, and building an actual genuine following comes from you being comfortable, not like forcing yourself into these other boxes
Yeah.
because someone else is doing it.
Which is funny that you say boxes because when I first got into reselling in 2017, and I was like, hey man, and I've told all the people, everybody that knows my story knows. I got into it because I saw a YouTube video and I thought the guy was full of crap. So I literally I started a YouTube channel so I could prove that the dude was just full of crap. Turns out he wasn't full of crap. He's been one of my mentors ever since, Walter Blake Knobloch.
I knew it was. I
Um,
knew it was not block. I knew it.
yeah. And then I reached out to him. I was like, hey, I was going to destroy your world and you don't even know who I am. And then for like the first year and a half of being a content creator on YouTube, I tried to fit into the box of what I was seeing every YouTuber being on the videos. And I'm just like, man, I am so not this guy. And then finally, once I just was like, hey, I'm going to be me and see what happens, that's when I started to get traction on all platforms, but especially on here.
Yeah.
I've just been authentic, which goes back to just be you, tell your story. And someone will relate to it. I got to get these questions for the Instagram so they don't yell at me. Level Up asked if you guys have ever been to the bins. Hey, thank you so much, Haptic Vibes. Thank you.
Yeah, we built our base at the bins. We the 20-second version of like the first 1,000 sales that we had, where we same thing. We saw people doing this online, and we're like, we want to make some extra money. I was bartending in downtown Portland, Maine. Rnzy was working for another brand, but we wanted to make like some extra money. We looked in the closet. We got some extra shoes. We got whatever we sold, and then we didn't have anything else. And someone said, you can go to Goodwill. There's a place called the Bins, and we looked it up, and you can't look up the Bins. So I was like, they're lying. Yeah, there's nothing called the Bins. And then I finally found it, and then we showed up that day, and we're like, holy smokes, this is amazing. So we every single day, it opened at 7 a.m. We were there at 6 a.m. so we could be one of the first people in line, so that we could rush to the shoes, so we could dig through. And we did that for months and months and months, and then we would take it home, clean.
Clean shoes, and then they would sell them on Facebook Marketplace. Why he's frozen, guys? He's in a basement in Maine. So when he freezes, I'm just going to fill in what he's saying, and I'm going to try to smile as much as him, but I don't smile a lot.
Oh, wait, I'm
Okay,
freezing or are you freezing?
you froze again, and then you were moving really fast. But I kept it going. I just started smiling. It doesn't look as good,
Are
but
we
I tried.
back? Are we back? Are we
We're
back?
back. We're back. We're back.
All right. Yeah.
So basically,
So
what you're saying is you would clean the shoes when you got home from the bins, and then that's when you guys were doing them on Facebook Marketplace.
yeah.
Um, um, Shelly, I think her name on here is Shelly Sue Shells because it always messes me up in the chat. But on Instagram, it's Shelly Sugary, and I don't want to talk about that. That's her business. What is your average buy cost?
In between $20 and $25, and the reason I give you a kind of broad is we've been testing different types of products. Whether it's North Face backpacks, whether it's Nike SB pants. We also have got into consumables, which have a much lower buy cost with the gourmet popcorn and the goat milk soap. But we keep it under $25 per item.
Awesome. Freeway Flippers, they were the first person to ask a question. What is your process? And this ties into what I was going to ask anyway. What is your process of hiring people out of state to source for you now? So, you guys have grown from just being you guys doing the sourcing to then I think you had local sourcing, and then now you have a nationwide network
Yep.
where I've seen you post where you send people the boxes and the tape, and then they just pack it and ship it back to you. So, what was the process of that other than just posting it on social media?
Yeah, so it starts with having filters that can tell you what type of person that is. And an actual example. When we started to hire, we would put up a post on social media that said, "Don't comment below.
Level Up, thank you.
Send us a DM answering these 3 questions. We're trying to see if they have an attention to detail." And so tons of people would comment below. They would just skip over that part. And
They're out.
then, 12, 15 people would send us a DM. So we're like, all right, the first filter is that someone can actually follow direction and be coachable. These people, we don't even need to respond to because they're telling us that they don't have an attention to detail. And then there's a whole set of other filters. Then back to what I said about testing products on whatnot, you test the team in a very small sense. They're going to be using our hard-earned money to source, so we test small. Nike is a great place to start because they have a maximum of 30 items per outlet that you can go to, so you don't really have the chance to, even if they rob you of everything. Okay, it sucks, but like they don't have a ton of your money. And keep in mind, I just said they've already gone through a bunch of other filters on who they are as a person. Then over time, this is the Gary Vee esque. This is lots of other entrepreneurs that have built big businesses.
Carbs, thank you.
Give people all the trust in the world, and until they break it.
Correct.
And then if they break it, move on to the next.
Yep.
I mean, and I say that, I fired my brother. I gave him all the trust in the world. I still love him dearly, but it wasn't working out. It's very clear. I've given you all the, now I'm not talking about my brother specifically, but like if we give you all the tools to succeed and treat you well and pay you well and it doesn't work out, respectfully, we're going to love you from afar and we're going to go to someone else. And then of course there's times where we really wish that this person
was going to work out, but for whatever reason, they didn't. And that's why I'm going to come back.
Oh, did we glitch?
There we go.
Did
3
we
Jets.
glitch?
Thank you so much. I tried to pick it up, man.
We're back. You nailed it. Are we back? Are we back?
Yeah. We're back.
Okay. So, basically, like I said, you have to respect if the product isn't selling well, you don't go get more of the product. If the person you hired isn't working out, you got to respectfully say, hey, this just isn't working out. Now, you have to own that you've set them up for success or not. This is where I get all the time. People have never cleaned a pair of shoes. And they're like, all right, I'm going to hire someone to clean shoes. And you're like, all right, teach them. And they're like, well, I don't really actually know how are they going to do a good job for you if you don't even know how to do it yourself? So you have to put in the work so that when you're hiring. Now, you nailed it.
I thought you were about to freeze again. I had the wig ready.
Oh my God. I love the backup plan. So I have sourced all around the country. I know what it's like to go in and talk to a manager. I know what it's like to confirm a sale. I know what it's like when you confirm a sale when you walk in and then you get to the register and for some reason it's different, which means I know how to handle all these situations. So when I'm training someone, I walk them through that and then either it works out with them or not. And we've been very, very good about if it's not working out, we move on to the next. And now our core team that we have right now is absolutely amazing. And we're slowly but surely, we just brought a guy in from Florida and we brought another guy in from Arizona. They've been sourcing a couple times. It's been absolutely amazing so far. We also have the people that have worked with us for years, working side by side with them with respect to the chat. So like all these things come down to test small. If it's working, pour gas on it. If it's not working, move on to something else.
Yes. How many people do you currently have under
Yep.
you?
So we have a couple in California. We have a gentleman in Arizona. We have another gentleman in Florida, and we have a nice young lady in Boston right now. Now we've had a bunch of other whatever, but that respects our current buying budget. Like right now, we're spending anywhere from $40,000 to $50,000 per week on inventory. So when we pay $1 per piece that goes out, so we have a waiting list of over 250 people that are ready to join the team when we can build our buying budget. But that amount of money that we can spend every single week gives each of the people that source enough money to go out. Because like I don't want someone to go out and buy 5 things, make $5, and then ship it. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Correct.
But if they can go out and source 300-400 items in a day and make $300-400, now we're onto something. So there's lots of different levers that you have to respect. You have to respect their time that they're going out there. So you do create efficiencies, but you also got to respect your profit and loss. You can't just pay someone a ton of money and then there's no room for profit. So all of that said, we've got a really good system in place and we're slowly adding to the team as the business dictates with respect to buying budget and profit and all that.
Awesome. And see, that's an avenue that we're just now starting to expand with our second channel, Flip the World, if you want to follow it, guys. Again, it's going to be something different. The bins, my focus mainly on the bins is this one. It's mostly for entertainment. And for me, basically, I always tell people in my chat, it's my therapy without having to pay for a therapist. I just happen to be selling stuff too. The other channel is going to be geared more towards getting wholesale suppliers and then selling that stuff at volume for great prices, catering to resellers usually, but and then down the road, big picture, maybe have a third selling channel, kind of like Daily Refinement, and that's going to be like Flip the World Luxury, where I can get like Dooney and Vera Bradley and stuff like that, new with tags. That's long-term goal. Again, you guys got to have your little vision board. I don't have an actual vision board. I just have like drawings everywhere of my goals, but so we are starting to come into that and bring on people. And one thing I would say, if you're wondering if you've reached the point now where you can bring someone on, is do you know every aspect of your business front and back? Because you can't ask someone to do something if you've never done it. I've
How are
never
you
been
gonna
able. I've never been able to
judge if
work
they're
with
doing a
somebody.
good job?
Yeah, I've
Like,
never been able to work for somebody, even when I was younger getting jobs. I've never been able to work with somebody that was asking me to do something that they themselves have never done. I never had the mentality of like, well, I can't take orders from you because you don't even know what I'm doing.
right.
So make sure you know the every aspect of your business before you're about to put your business on the shoulders of someone else that might fail at it because you didn't properly train them. If you hire somebody and they fail, it's because you were a horrible teacher.
Yes.
Period.
Yes. I mean, that's it. That's it. Because it's the classic, like, it's everything is our fault.
Yep.
Everything is our fault, which leaves you in control. And I'd much rather be in control than, oh my God, the post office raised their by 12 cents. My business is ruined. And it's like,
Yep.
what are you talking about? Like, that's crazy. So you keep everything in your control by taking accountability for everything. And if it's not working out, this is the tough part. And I think this is what catches people. If the product's not selling, it's your fault. You either bought it too high, or you're trying to sell it too low, or it's the wrong product.
Yep.
Period. But you have control out of all those things. To say now, this is what I love about Whatnot, because the nuances. Two sellers can have the same exact inventory and get drastically different results. I love that. There's people
Mhm.
that sell my stuff, that similar stuff, for way more, and so I'm trying to figure out how to do that. But like, it keeps me in the driver's seat 24/7.
Yep. And if you're business minded, that motivates you.
Right,
You're
right,
like,
right.
mother, how are they doing? Again, you and me, we're big on reverse engineering.
Yep,
But that ties into what somebody said earlier, and I didn't forget. I saw it. They asked, how do they find or how do they build mentors? Because I had mentioned mentors. I honestly, the way I do it and have done it, the ones that I actually am in contact with, which is like my TED Talk circle of resellers, I've always been drawn to the people that willingly give out the information for free, knowing 100% that they can give it out for free and they don't have to charge for a course because they know that 99% of the people aren't going to put in the work. And so
right.
those are the people that I've always kind of gravitated towards in the reselling community, is the ones that are openly say, hey, this is how I did this. There you go. I'll give
Right.
you everything. Here's the playbook. Here's everything. You guys have always given people, you call them the leapfrogs. You guys, hey,
Yep.
this is where we failed. This is how we fixed it. Now you
Right.
don't have to make that failure because I already did it.
Right.
And you guys have given it out for free. Another one I look for is I look for people where I want to be. I don't look. I take
Yeah.
no. And this, whenever I talk, guys, if you're new here, it sounds like I'm an ass, which I am. But I just get straight to the point. I don't take any information from somebody that's doing worse than me, and I don't give it much value because they're where I used to be. They're not where I want to be. So I'll listen to it, I'll process it, but I'm more than likely not going to take the advice.
Yeah. I
So
mean, no ceilings. You want to find people that there's no ceiling. And again, when I was on Poshmark, I was desperately trying to find someone that had sold $1 million on Poshmark, because we hadn't yet.
yeah,
And I was like, who? Because I wanted proof of concept too. When I got onto Whatnot, I was like, I'm hearing so many conflicted stories. Like, someone says you can build a big business, someone says you can't. I
yeah,
need to see for myself what's possible. And I remember going to a stream in the beginning, and this young gentleman, I watched it with my own eyes. In less than 1 hour, sold $100,000 in shoes,
yep,
green payments.
yep,
And I was like, I have no idea how to do that. I just watched it happen, but like, okay, the opportunity is pretty insane here.
yeah,
This is like, there's not really any ceiling. Now we have never come close to $100,000 in an hour, but like, I watched it with my own eyes. It wasn't like I saw some fictitious whatever. And that proof of concept really motivates me, because then I'm like, all right, I can't make any excuses for whatever
yeah,
goals that I set for myself. um, and that's how we just approach every single thing, is like, can I see someone, like you're saying, that is way ahead of me, that gives me the proof of concept, and then now my goals seem very doable.
yeah. So that's how I answer the question, guys. I look for people that are where I want to be, even if it's in a different category, different niche, different style. As long as they're on this platform, I want in respects to what I do on here. As far as in life and business, obviously there's Gary V. There's I'm going through my second round on be useful. I do.
That's sweet.
Read stuff like that and just anything entrepreneurial I like to read and kind of think of. But the best way to say what I said earlier was you don't give big ideas to people with small minds. And so that's why if someone's beneath me, I'm not going to get much value out of what they're trying to tell me because I've already achieved where I'm ahead of them. But yeah, you guys started testing flash sales too.
Yep.
But one thing you guys did last year that whether you knew it or not motivated people like Harry Tornado, myself, is you were posting your daily sales,
Yep.
not as a flex, but as accountability.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I was just like, wow. I know they're probably getting flooded with people hating on them. And
Yeah.
those people are never going to succeed at anything business wise because they're not looking at this for what it is.
Yeah.
This is showing that the work they're doing is working and
Yeah.
that they are adding bricks to their foundation, which is going to, so, and Harry started throwing it up there and then I started throwing it up there and I still do it. I just stopped throwing it up because I get lazy and I get behind and I'm like, well, now what do I do? Do I post 9 days in a row or do I just be like, oh guys, sorry, I stopped at day 37 and now it's day 60. I'm so sorry. What happened in between was life.
Right.
But,
Right. Right.
but,
Well,
uh, yeah,
the point of it too is the personal accountability. Like I'm gonna put myself up. Here's a goal. We didn't hit our goal. Our goal was 2 million, and we hit like 1.9 whatever. And it's gonna sound weird for me to be like, oh my god, I was crushed that we did 1 point. You see what I'm saying? Like, but it was a motivator throughout the year, and this is why my wife and I are great together because she's very good about grounding me in a healthy way, and I'm like the squirrel that's trying to throw everything against the wall and like figure. And we can sell $1 billion a day and like figure it out, and then we meet somewhere in the middle that in a very healthy way. uh Putting stuff out there. Now listen, I'm glad that you said that. We did get a lot of it's social media. Whenever you put a group of people together, of billions of people together, there's going to be a few knuckleheads. We did
yeah,
get a lot of, you know, you're throwing this in my face, I can't do this, instead of saying, I have some questions, can you help me? Which we
yep,
answer every time. But we also got so many really amazing messages that said, thank you, because what I said earlier, I look for proof of concept. I saw a gentleman sell $100,000 in 1 hour, and in my head, I was like, thank you, because I didn't know that was even possible. And I was thinking my goals were too low. Now, I'm not saying you have to have $1 million or whatever goal, but like when you see a proof of concept, when you see what's possible, it really takes a weight off your shoulders. And if you do not see that, then it's like, well, I don't know if I can make a living on
yeah.
whatnot. I haven't seen anyone else make a living. So you do the deep dive and you're like, oh my God, Flip the World's doing it. Oh my God, Rnzy's doing it. Harry Tornado's doing it, just to name a few. Like, okay, there's proof of concept. Now how can I do it? And the whole world opens up, especially with what we're talking about right now.
100%. That's the whole reason I'm as transparent as I am with everything because I want people to know that it is possible because I'm always like, look, if this can make this work, then you got a good chance. And then also like if people have questions, it's like, well, if you're asking questions and then you're inquisitive and you want to know things, then that sounds like somebody that's going to be going in their direction versus somebody that just throws salt. Those people are never going to go anywhere. And those people
Yeah.
you just don't pay much of mind to. I mean, of course, I love part of my shtick again would be trolling those people and then posting it so everybody can laugh. But that's literally once I do that, that's gone and out of my mind. So I don't worry about it
Yeah.
too much. Um, Let me see. Oh, Drew Profit Monster says, "What actually goes on in that basement in Maine?"
it's,
I don't.
it's
I don't know what
it's a
that question
lot.
means.
It's a lot of apparel, and we just actually did inventory. So like it's gonna look kind of crazy, but we got shipping going on. Lee says what's up. She's shipping over there. We're getting the shipping done. This goes out. We're on the top of a mountain, and there is a mountain out there, but the snow has caved us in. Then we stream from like the corner. This is where you guys usually see me, and then over there we have all the ship. It's basically a big circle. We spaghetti map our basement, so like it comes in, the inventory comes in this way, and then as I sell it, it goes over this way. What actually goes on, Drew? Drew knows. And then we have a numbered cubby system. Let me try to get some light. Where it's like 1 through, I think we've got like almost 400 cubbies, 370 cubbies, and so we have one listing. It's the weight. Someone was asking about shipping. It's 1 to 2 pounds. It's one. So as it sells, item number 1 goes in cubby number 1. Item number 2 goes in cubby number 2. And that way, when Lee is shipping, she doesn't need to know. She doesn't need to have any product knowledge. We used to do like listing it out, and there was a bottleneck because then we would have to teach someone what's the difference between a cobalt blue Nike hoodie and ocean blue
I
Nike
would have
hoodie.
no clue. Yeah, I'd have
I
no
actually
clue.
don't even know. I just said that. So, like, you see what I'm saying? You have to have an indicator. So now all we have to do, because we only have that one listing, is she has to say, all right, John Doe purchased number 1, 14, and 240. She just pulls those out of the cubby, carefully packages them, and we're off. So we created more efficiency that way. That's the whole entire basement. If you walk into my house, you wouldn't even know we're resellers. We were very conscious about our square footage. It wasn't always that way when we had our apartment and part of our first house. Like you'd be like, "Holy crap, what's going on?" But we're constantly trying to create efficiencies. We're working on getting a warehouse built on our property here. It's
Nice.
it's a little harder than I anticipated to build a warehouse on the top of a mountain, but it's something that we're gonna have to. I think we're gonna have to save up a little bit more to do it the right way. But we've got goals to share a little bit further. We do live in the middle of nowhere in Maine, like legit. I was so excited when Lindsay found this house. We just moved into this house like less than 6 months ago. It's our forever home. We're gonna be living
Red
here forever.
letters. Thank you. Sorry to
Thank
cut
you,
you
Red
off.
Letters.
Thank you.
The first thing I looked up before we came and looked at this house was how far is the post office, and the local post office is 3 minutes away. And so I went there, and when I pulled in the parking lot, I was like, oh no, it's it's the building is small. And I was like, our business is pushing out, a lot of packages. So I walked in, and they immediately, after 5 minutes, were like, you're not gonna be able to ship through us because the building isn't big enough. Now I'm not saying it's like a shack. It's
Yeah.
we live there's like 600 people that live in my town where I live in Maine. So we had to come up with a solution. We went to the next town over, a bigger post office, but they said we can't come pick up from you because you're in a different jurisdiction. We can't come to you. And then I was like, I'm going back and forth 7 times with our family van. So what am I gonna do? So we worked really hard, and we went to U-Haul and we purchased one of their trucks from them.
Yeah.
It was like 10 grand. It was an older one. And so now we have this giant old U-Haul truck, and we fill it with pallets. We fill the pallets and we drive it to the other post office and drop it off. I go in and get the forklift. I go into my own truck.
Yep.
I put it in the back there. They scan it. Why am I telling you guys all this? Very easily, we could have been like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. The post office won't come pick up from us. Our business can't grow. But we said, let's figure this out. And we're not rich by any means. So we needed to work really hard to save money to get the box truck. We ran the numbers. We did all this stuff. We're always trying to figure out how can we solve towards what we want to have happen rather than acknowledging all these things that would prevent us from winning.
Yep. Same thing here. We got a box truck. We loaded up. They told us like, hey, look, we can't take all your packages every day.
Right.
Um, every other day we'll take them, and I was like, okay, well, I have 2 days. I have 2 day minimum on my thing. And they're like, okay, well, if we can't take them because we don't have equipment, which is what they say, then you can go to this one. And I was like, I've gone to that one. They said they won't take my mail. They're like, all right, well, I'm the postmaster. I will call them and I'll let them know. And I was like, all you got to tell them is the guy with all the tattoos is going to bring them boxes every other day. That's all you got to tell
Yeah.
them.
I
And
love it.
so we figured out a way to work because I wasn't going to let the post office be the reason why I couldn't be successful.
Right.
So no, that's good you brought that up because I think a lot of people do. They're like, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to go to the post office or anything like that. You guys got to make it. You got to figure out how to make it work.
Wait,
Um,
so we need to clip that and send it to Drew. That's it.
Yeah, also your little your basement tour there, if there's anybody from like New York watching, they're just real upset because that's probably like 4 1-bedroom apartments that you just showed
Yeah.
everybody.
Well,
uh,
and we had to grow into this. Like we had a much smaller bit. Our first apartment, all the shoes were on racks in the living room.
I
Like,
remember the older videos where it was going up the
yeah,
stairs and yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. There was the super tiny. I fell down those stairs so many times. It's crazy. And we were. I was lucky enough when Lindsay and I first started dating, boyfriend and girlfriend. She was living with her brother, and I moved in with him. And her brother's like a lawyer,
Yeah.
like official, uh, amazing human being. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna bring in all these dirty shoes and put them in your living room. And he was just like, okay. And thank God he was okay with it. But like, we're sitting there in the living room hanging out, and there's all the shoes in there. And then eventually, we worked our way up to being able to afford an apartment by ourselves. And so
I
like,
think
it doesn't go zero to your whole basement. It's like gradual over time.
I think that's the big secret to both of our successes that we don't really talk about because it's like unwritten rule. But both of us have somebody much smarter supporting us and going along for the ride. Even though our ideas that we throw against the wall are a little different than the rest of society, they're just like, you know what? Let's see what happens.
Bless,
Um,
bless both Stacy and Lindsay for
Yeah, if
for
I didn't
like,
give a shout out to Stacy, I was probably gonna get kicked in the nuts when I get off this because I know she's in the living room listening, and she's like, "That mother hasn't even mentioned my name once." So
oh, I
shout
love
out
it.
Stacy. Everyone that follows me already knows that she's the real one. That she's the one that does all the digging and finds all the stuff. I'm just the idiot that holds it up.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Hey, and on a side note, I don't know if you saw this. I punched Lindsay in the neck on live stream.
oh my God, really?
Let me. Those of you that follow saw it. I'm begging her to come down and like say hi because she used to stream, both of us, but now she absolutely runs the whole entire house. And one day I finally got her to come down, and I'm facing. This is exactly where I stream from. She was coming in, and I was going to like hug her, and as soon as she got in frame, I was like, shabam, and I
Boom!
punched her right in the neck, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And she still loves me, and we're still together,
You're
and
like,
all
"What's
is
up,
good.
guys? Domestic violence."
It was a left hook right as she came in, and I was like, "Oh my dear Lord!" And she was like, "Oh God, sorry." And we hugged, and but
That's awesome.
she
Yeah,
still stuck around.
Stacy still is not she's still camera shy, doesn't want to come on and be part of it. I know it's going to happen one day. She's going to come out of her shell one day. That or I'm just going to get banned and she's going to have to start selling on her account. And I
Well,
become
listen, I want to be proof because I've met Stacy in person.
she's real.
Amazing. She's amazing. She's amazing. Whether she ever shows her face again, like such an amazing human being.
You don't know how much it took for her to get on the stage when we did FlipCon together. Like
I
I
know. I know.
the bribing and money that I had to pay her.
I love it.
That's awesome, man. How are you on time? I wanna respect your time as well.
I got all day, my friend.
Okay. We're going to see what's it called? The Monkey, the new Stephen King horror movie.
Haven't seen
Here,
it yet, but let me
yeah, we're
know.
gonna go see that here in a little bit. Let me see. I got that question out of the way. Oh yeah. Well, we already talked about why we give out our content for free. Oh, do you think? So my answer is you can, but probably not at the level that we do. Someone asked, is it possible to do what you do solo? So on my end, I have had to run live from the bench shows by myself when it was like take the animals to the dentist day, and since we have so many, it takes all day.
Yep.
And it is definitely not successful because I can only dig until right when I'm about to start. And so all the digging that happens and all the stuff that's brought in while I'm running the stream that she does, that it wasn't there. So the show's still operational, but the money and the items is completely not.
Yeah.
But as somebody that wants to, go to the stores and get the product, and even if it's only you said Nike only allows 30. So let's say they hit like 3 Nikes. So they only got 90. That's their budget. They can do 90 or whatever. Is it doable as a solo?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a general question because it depends on the person. It depends on, how you function. It's a lot more difficult. I'll say that. It's a lot. It took me a while to let go of some of the reins. Went back when we were doing used shoes to even have people clean the shoes because it's the classic. You're like, oh, they're not going to clean the shoes as well as I can clean the shoes, or when we were having people listing, back when we were using Poshmark, they're not going to list as well as me, or so I can't give a definitive answer. It is a lot more difficult, and it also depends on what your goals are. Our goal is big for us, like multiple millions of dollars every single year. The only reason we can do that is because we have an amazing team.
Yeah.
Period. Like just the logistics of how we source would be impossible. Like I used to go take multiple days, stay in hotels, and then come back with all the inventory. Right now. I'm streaming while the team's sourcing. While I'm streaming, we're shipping. So like
Yeah.
all the things that I can do as one person are all happening in the same minute because other people are doing it. So like yes, of course you can hit big numbers by yourself, but like you gotta also sleep
Yeah.
and like whatever other fun stuff you want to do. And you might not have you might have bigger goals than me, but there are 1-2 person teams that do way more than us.
Yeah.
Way, way, way more than us. I'm talking 6 figures every day.
The reason I asked the question about the solo is because I see is a two part. One is yes, I think you could do anything solo. It's just you're gonna have to figure out how to scale it. That customizes your business. But a lot of people will see like what you're doing, and they'll be like, oh well, I'm just one person, but I can still do that. And it's just like, well, you gotta start again. You're trying to take the heaviest weight and lift it. You're trying to walk in the gym and deadlift 405 when you've never even picked the bar up before.
Yeah,
So you have to, you guys didn't start off with a team, and
right.
so to go
Let me
solo, you got to build it yourself and make it work for you. Ooh,
Yo, lots of questions. How many kids do you have?
di- oh, me
Yeah,
8,
right.
ocho
And
niños
I
y
have two.
niñas.
There's a lot of comments coming in saying we probably don't have any kids. I have a 3-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son. This is
Lazy.
this is this is my daughter. This is my wife. It's funny. A lot of people, not a couple people, were saying, "Oh, they probably don't have kids. That's why they're winning." You
Hand
have
me a
8
picture of
kids
all these mongrels that I could show. The chat doesn't believe we have. There's 8. Just rip one off the wall of shame.
between the two of us. There's a 10 pack.
Yeah, and they won't let me sell them on whatnot, guys. So you can't get any.
So it's the classic. Like, oh, you're probably winning because here's my favorite. You're winning because you live in a big city,
I
which
get that one a lot.
which I don't. And then they're like, you're winning because you live in the middle of nowhere.
I'm winning
Like
because I'm allowed to go live inside Goodwill and other places they're not allowed to.
it's
I'm
crazy. Like it's and I also listen. I have a lot of empathy for people who, if you haven't seen social proof of it,
empathy. What's that?
not I read it. I read it.
Just
Chat
kidding.
GPT told me. Chat GPT told me empathy is actually I don't even know the but like listen, once you see social proof, then it's like all right, I knock that excuse out of the park. Boom, the pack.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then this is the picture of Stacy because she doesn't ever want to be on camera.
I love it. I love it. No,
Hi,
so and
Stacy.
again, I'm not trying to like poo poo the people who are like, oh, you probably don't have kids or you probably don't whatever, but it's the wrong way to approach this. It's the wrong way to approach people sharing what's working. If you're trying to find reasons that you can't do it, you're definitely gonna find them.
Yeah.
Like 100%. Like, oh, we live in the middle of nowhere. Wi-Fi was an issue. We had to figure it out. We got a booster. We got the whatever. We figured it out. Like, just you got to figure it out or move on to something else. You can't. If someone else is proving that you now, I promise you, there's no one in the chat that has 8 kids.
Or wants them.
Yeah. It's like now uh you have just eliminated all the people that have 4 or 5 kids saying I've got 4 or 5 kids.
Yeah. That's
Boom.
that's the
Oh,
that's the thing. When people try to come to me with their excuses, I'm just like, I have every one you could think of. I'm blind in my left eye. I have 8 kids. I don't know how to filter this. I mean,
Right.
what else do you need?
But like again, it's you're approaching it the wrong way. Like it's very easy to find why you can't do something if that's what you're looking for, as opposed to, man, I don't know how I'm gonna do $10,000 in a month, but like let me find someone who has, maybe ask some questions, then take a little bit of what they're doing, apply it to what I want to do. Boom, 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 boom. Reverse engineer, as we're always talking about. How? What does that mean per stream? What does that mean? Can I find consistent products that help me hit that goal? That's the way to approach it, rather than, yo, post office is 4 miles away, and not gonna be able to drop off my packages. Can't do it. It's
Yep,
like, okay, goodbye.
exactly. Dan, these aren't tattoos, dude. This I shaved my head and I realized this is my birthmark. This isn't a tattoo. Guys, I was just on Dan's podcast. If you guys want to check it out, Dan in Demand. I'm forcing him to get back on live selling. He might do it on this one. He might do it on a competitor's platform. I hope he does it on this one. Just because I don't want Kevin to make a percentage. I'm just kidding, Kevin. I love you. Do you have any tattoos, Ryan?
No, not yet. My beautiful wife has some really amazing tattoos. I do not yet. I'm 41. I'm open to it. I just I don't even know why I haven't. I just haven't.
What you got to do is you got to put a goal. Like
Yeah.
if we do this, then I'll get this.
Yes, I do need to do that. My like I said, Lindsay has some really amazing tattoos. I love your tattoos. I'm open. I love the artistic approach. I just never have put. I do a lot of other squirrely things that,
I
you
have
know,
Whatnot on my palm. It fell out, but I tattooed the Whatnot logo on my palm live on Whatnot.
I
I
love
forgot
it.
to
I
tell you
love it.
guys. I also have 5 usernames from people on Whatnot. I put it in my Buy It Now, thinking nobody would do it, and 5 people were like, "Oh yeah, you know what? I'll pay to have you tattooed." So I have usernames tattooed on my thigh. I have the Trash to Cash tattoo on my thigh. I have the Goodwill logo tattooed on my thigh.
I was
Um,
there. I was there when the Harry tornado, not when it actually happened, but at the event when you did the Harry
yep,
tornado. That's crazy.
yep. I
Clutter
shower with
consultant.
I
Clutter
shower with
consultant
Harry
said.
Tornado every day.
Clutter consultant. What's up, brother? The he said if I do 100K in one stream, I should get a head tattoo. We're gonna remember this. I don't
I
know. I'm
wouldn't
not
go
gonna
for
get a
the
head
head
tattoo.
right off the bat.
I know. I'm not gonna get it because I'm gonna do 100K in one stream.
Oh, for
But
sure.
it's gotta have to be bigger than that to get the head tat. Like,
Yeah, yeah. No,
um,
I wouldn't wish this on anybody. It is so painful. Uh,
can I get something on the hand before I go straight knock?
hey, the hand falls out and it hurts really bad.
All right.
You
Well,
got
listen.
they got to hold it back like that, so because your natural instinct is to do this, so they got to
I'm
like hold
okay.
it.
I'm not saying no because of the pain. I'm okay with that. I just wanna maybe I just need to get more into reverse engineering what I would even want.
Okay. Yeah, the guy that went live from Goodwill, I think he's like the VP of that area.
Yeah.
Because I reached out to my, because again, if people ever wonder, because I always said this before, I've built a relationship with Goodwill in Houston since 2017, and that's how we're able to do what we do. We have kind of like they call it a press pass. So we've built that relationship. It's not like I just went into somebody else's business and was like, hey, I'm going to start doing this in the corner, and there's nothing you can do about it. I built that relationship, and that's what people don't understand when they see that they're like, "Oh, how are you able to do that?" Well, it's because I put in the work, the connections. I learned names. I sent emails. I met with people. I take them snacks. Um, Stacy made them all Valentine's Day little bags for Valentine's Day. Like we kiss a lot of ass. Uh, so
I love it.
um, yeah, see now I need to go when I get a Rnzy tattoo. What is it gonna be, man? I guess if we do a mill on
It's
here, I'll
got to
have
be a
to do it.
squirrel. It's got to be a squirrel because it'll be
If
the representation, but also
we hit a mill on Whatnot, and I'm gonna get a Rnzy squirrel. It's
done.
gonna have weird hair. You guys heard it just now. I said it right now.
I had to cut the weird hair because we went on a family trip and I looked like a homeless man that stole a nice family when I was
That's
driving the van.
that's the whole reason I look like this is so when we go places, no one expects anything from me, and I can ask them for $1. Hey
I
man, you got
needed
a
I need
dollar?
it. It was logistics for me. I was like, I can't get pulled over so many times while we're trying to travel down the East Coast. Let me just cut the hair so there's no weirdness, and it's growing back out though for sure.
Nice. Nice. Guys, do you have any other questions? Obviously, if you weren't already following Ryan and Lindsay, please follow them. if you weren't always already following me, we have our show tomorrow live from the bin. Starts at 11 Central. It's different. It's comedy. It's improv. It's crazy. You're going to hear kids screaming. You're going to hear banging. You're going to hear loud shouting. But it is live from the bins. If you want to be part of that without having to be there, make sure you guys tune in. Thank you guys so much for following. Again, I love doing these on here instead of doing it on another platform, because the people that are on here want to be on here and they want to learn. And it really does mean a lot that you gave me so much of your time, man. Again, we've known each other for a long time, and you are in my TED Talk circle of people that I aspire to become, be. You push us to be better in everything that we do, and thank you guys so much. Hey, thank you for the tip at the last minute. You guys can rewatch this as many times as you want on the Flip the World YouTube channel. I encourage you to do that, because every time you comment on there and view it, I get like a half of a penny per 1,000 views. So that money really does add up for me. And yeah, what do I have? I usually have a question that I leave. Again, I kind of got that from the diary of hey, thank you so much, guys. You don't have to do that. Diary of a
Hunter,
CEO.
appreciate you, brother.
What what open-ended question would you end with for somebody that is signed up to sell but hasn't done their first show? What would you leave us with some motivation?
Well, you got to figure out what you actually want to do. I mean, I've seen this quote being bounced around a lot recently, but like if you don't know where you're going, all the distractions seem like opportunities. So like if you don't know nothing's going to work, everything's going to work, you're going to be pulled in so many different directions. Now, it doesn't mean if you set a goal that it can't change, but you need to have a target of what you want. Is it putting milk in the fridge? Is it paying my cell phone bill? Is it buying a house? Is it whatever it is? Because then you can reverse engineer exactly what you need to do every single day and you get a gauge. Oh, Giuseppe.
You guys have been
What?
so good to me. I want to say a thank you, everybody. You are the best. Ladies
This
and
is so good.
gentlemen, Rnzy now, aka Ryan. Thank you so much.
Dude, in all seriousness, you, Stacy, the whole entire family. It's been so great, growing shoulder to shoulder with you guys. We got a long ways to go, my friend, but it means the world to me. Whether we're just, texting back and forth, whether we're chopping it up, it means the world to me to spend time with you guys, because that's what it's really all about. We're supporting our families, we're hitting goals, we're talking strategy. It's how we're using our breath. Like, and I say this all the time when I've actually met the people in person. You guys are just as amazing in person. I'm not just saying this. I pride myself in surrounding myself with really amazing people, and it means the world that you and Stacy are real good friends.
Likewise, my friend. That's I had you on mainly so people could say that you could say you've met me in real life and you could vouch for me, because most people are like, I bet this dude's just a big ass off camera. But thank you guys so much again, man. I know I'm going to be hitting you up as I always do. So thank you so much, guys. If you aren't doing it already, what are you waiting on? That's it. What are you waiting on?
Have a great day, brother. We'll talk soon.
Peace.